Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits. Beautiful day here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world for those who live here, but then you too are the center of the world. So the question today, or the Zen Fits today, is the Russian nesting assumptions. Now, we all know what Russian nesting dolls are, and I just ordered one. I thought, I love the metaphor. I love and I use it a lot on my writing as a metaphor, Russian nesting dolls, because it just keeps on giving. So I always thought, gee, if I ever see one, I'm going to buy some. But then I finally figured, well, what the hell? I'm just going to order some. So I ordered some on Amazon, and here it is. And so first of all, the Russian, it's a Russian metaphor, and the Russian nesting doll is always a woman, so it's the mother. The mother, and mothers have wombs, or mothers create worlds in which we live, just like we start out living in a womb. Well, as we grow up, the womb keeps getting bigger, you see. So, oh shit, excuse me. my little mother just jumped right out. So if we open up one and we get a smaller one. So rather than these all go down to one, but the point is right here is that each world is nesting within another. So suppose I live in this is my world right here. I'm inside this. This is my culture. This is my me. So the question is, who am I? Who am I? Is the fundamental human question. We all ask it in many different ways. It's always coming up. What is the truth here? Who am I? What's the truth here? What's going on? Well, who am I, you see, basically is asking for the truth. What is the truth of me? You see, what is the truth here is who am I? When I see the truth, it's me. You see, so we can't get away from me, no matter what we see. So if I'm in here asking a question, who am I? Well, then the answer is going to be, dropped it again. The answer is the answer is going to be a larger me. In other words, whenever you have an insight into who you are, you're bigger than you were. You're greater than who you thought you were. So our world basically is who or what I think I am. And that's an assumption. So the Russian nesting dolls are nesting assumptions. For instance, yesterday I did this talk on my iPad, which gives you kind of like a wider look, and because my iPhone heated up and went blank, and I couldn't restart it. I looked up how do you force start it, and I went on the internet. And all the forced starts, I did everything they said. And it was an iPhone 7 or iPhone 8 or iPhone 6. Anyway, I was looking up all those, and I was trying everything to force start it, but it wouldn't start. So I drove 50 miles to the iPhone store in Colonial Heights, and they checked it out. Said, it's fine. So, well, what did you do? He says, well, it's an iPhone 10, and we start iPhone 10s. Oh, it's an iPhone 10? Oh. I assumed it was a 7 or 8 or 6 or something. Ah. So you see, the iPhone 10 had a different start sequence than the other phones. In other words, you got, since they took away the little start button on the bottom of here, there's one down here, you got the on-off button on the side, then you got the 2 volume buttons, and that's it. So to start an iPhone 10, you have to push the up and down volume, and then you push the on off. And that forces a restart. And it's fine. So my assumption that I didn't question was a Russian nesting doll. So I assumed, you see, that I had an iPhone 10. So that created a world. That assumption, that thought believed in, that thought believed, created half my day. So I had to drive 50 miles, take an hour, drive to Colonial Heights, wait for an hour while they got around to checking the phone, coming back in and finding out nothing wrong. Driving all the way back, you see. All that world, that was a world based on the assumption that my phone was a 7 or 8. I forgot what I was looking, I did not question that. So because I didn't question, and that was a thought believed in. An assumption is a thought believed in that we don't question. A thought believed it. So who am I? Basically, fundamentally, is an unquestioned thought of who I am. I think I know who I am. I'm Ed Connolly. I live here in Blackstone. I'm 83 years old, you see, and I got a whole thinking, I can think about all of the different Russian assumptions of me, all the assumptions of me, you see. They'd go all, you can start off with my memory of a childhood and everything, you see. But when you get down to, when you start questioning your assumptions, your beliefs about who you are, like I get down to but then you finally get down to that, you see. Now this one does not divide. Now here's this is why I love this Russian nesting dolls, is because each one of these wombs, each one of these mothers, each one of these worlds can be divided or questioned. Is it true or not? Is it this or that, you see? So, is there a me, is there a you that cannot be questioned, that cannot be divided? See, anything, any thought creation, any assumption has a belief or a not belief. So the assumption that my phone was a 7 or an 8, let's say 8. The assumption that my phone was an 8 existed as a thought, and it's possible for it not to be an 8. But I didn't question that. I didn't question, is it an 8 or not? Let me check. I didn't do that. I just believed my thought that it was an 8 was the truth. And so when you believe it, you don't question it. It doesn't even become an option. It doesn't become a possibility. It doesn't become a choice, you see. But as soon as you question it, now is it on or is it off? Is it this or is it that, you see? So the question opens it up, you see. The question opens up the Russian nesting assumption. So we look inside. Now, if we keep doing that, this is the spiritual path. This is Buddhism. This is Zen, you see. Because the Zen koan is kind of like a Russian nesting assumption. Is it this or that? The logic can't fit it. You can't say the Russian nesting doll is this because it's also that. In other words, the Russian nesting doll is a whole. But if you question it, you end up with a divided whole. So it cannot be either one or the other. So I know I'm getting confusion here, but when you, with the Russian nesting dolls, trying to carry out the metaphor here, you get down to this little capsule which cannot be divided. So what is that, you see? It's not a thought. Because a thought world, a thought belief is going to be yes or no. But when we keep coming down to who am I, we come down to I don't know. And the I don't know is the undivided knower. I know before I become a thought, which is going to be this or that. Anyway, I know that's very confusing. But anyway, the question, I was writing about this morning on Facebook, and somebody asked, why is there nothing instead of something? Why is there something instead of nothing? Well, the Russian nesting dolls takes you down to the nothing that is something. So when you keep going down through the layers of thinking and assumptions of who you are, when you keep peeling back the onion, the layers of the Russian nesting assumptions, you come to that which cannot be divided. But that which cannot be divided is not a thought, is not an object, because objects can be divided. You see, all of these are objects, and you can divide them, boop, boop, like a butcher. You can cleave them, boop, boop. And you keep cutting open, you keep peeling back the onion. But you arrive, eventually, you arrive at that which cannot be divided. And that which cannot be divided is the knower before the known. Is the knower before the known. The knower is who you essentially are, which is just awareness, you see. Just awareness, just the knower. And the known is what we think it, everything. The name of everything is named. Everything is form. That's all the known. When we come upon something that is unknown and it cannot be named, it freaks us out. Like in Space Odyssey 2001. Remember the obelisk? That was unknown. It had no name. And it generated evolution. Whenever the obelisk appeared in 2001 Odyssey, consciousness evolved, the apes evolved, the humans evolved. So when we come upon the unknown, that which has no name and form, that which cannot be divided, we leap into a new understanding. You see, so when we come upon myself as the undefined, undivided, unconditioned, the unborn, when you come upon yourself as the unborn, you discover who you are. But you discover that you're not something. You discover that you just are. I just am. You see, I don't have to be something. But of course I'm going to be something, because you have to be something to catch a bus. And we do have our personality and our history and our character. That's something. And we do have the things we buy and all of the stuff. That's all there. All the Russian dolls are there. All the Russian dolls are there, you see. We can't deny the Russian, but in all of the Russian nesting dolls, there is this little unknown seed of I am the knower. I am before the world was created. I am before I created me. I am before I created all of the Russian nesting dolls, you see. I am before all of that. So in all of these layers of worlds that I live in, you see, all of these nesting mothers, all of these nesting wombs, all of these assumptions, all of these dolls, you see, oh, here's one here. So I'm going to see if I can put these, all of these, here, put this in here, you see, and I put that, and this goes in here, and I put the world together, and I put the world together. Yet inside all of that, in all of it, is that seed of you, the knower. I am the knower of this. I am the creator of this. If I'm in a bad mood, I created it. If I'm in a good mood, I created it. I created it. I'm the creator of me. So that is nesting hidden deep in all of the layers of thought in this landfill of a world that we create. You see, the news, everything. And all of that. You are the center of that. You are the center of all the rusting nesting dolls of thought and assumption that we say is the world out there, is the world. Thanks for dropping in. I hope this Zen Fit wasn't too confusing. Thank you.